Hello, hello. We are live. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, hello, good morning, and welcome back.
Yes.
Right?
Happy 2020.
To us. Oh my gosh, this is our first Facebook Live
Yeah, and
for
Instagram Live, yeah.
this year. So I feel like we've been gone for a while. You guys probably notice how much younger we look.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have been knee deep in skincare regimens, chemical peels on ourselves.
We have, actually.
And yeah, we definitely feel younger.
Absolutely. I like your lack of sheen there.
Yes.
Thank you, Radiance Cream.
Thank you, Radiance Cream. I don't know if you guys knew that, but our Radiance Cream is great
Absolutely.
for taking off sheen. It deflects light.
I love that. I love it. I use it as a makeup primer.
I don't.
No.
No.
I'm glad you don't.
I don't wear makeup, just FYI.
You just wear the primer. I like it.
I just take the sheen off my face.
I love it. I love it. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited about today's topic because it is one that we get a ton of questions about. And so I really think this is something that, would be relevant because one of the biggest questions we get is what is the Skin Therapeutic chemical peel protocol for post peel? So
a lot.
what does that look like? And we get that, I think probably at least 4 or 5 times a day I get a phone call asking that exact question or an email or something like that. So we definitely want to take this time. This is going to be kind of a lengthier one. We normally stick it to about 30 minutes. We may go over that today because this is one of those things where you want to get it right, and we want to make this as clear as possible. So we definitely want to take our time with it.
Yeah, well, we want to give you plenty of information too, and so that's always been our goal with these kind of videos that we do, is that we can give you some information that we can use or you can use. And so we're going to talk about this from that angle, a different angle actually this time than what we normally talk about. So we've looked at some different protocols for post-chemical peel, and we've kind of landed on this time we want to talk about, well, what's the protocol based on the strength or the depth of the chemical peel?
Absolutely.
So we've looked at our chemical peels and we've kind of classified them as either very superficial, medium, and deep. And so we'll talk about protocols and what you do based on which kind of peel that you're going to be using.
Exactly. So, by the way, guys, this will be the official Skin Therapeutic chemical peel post-peel protocol type thing. So this is just for our line specifically. So you can probably transfer some of the knowledge to other peel lines, but this is specifically for our peel line and including our skincare. So the recommendations we are going to make, like I said, are specific to us. So you ST peel lovers out there, this is going to be super easy to just integrate right into your business. And then everyone else, maybe you should make an account and get ST peels in your business because it's awesome and they're awesome. So
yes,
and
certainly.
we're awesome.
So, yes,
so.
and we're glad to help you with that. But just general information about chemical peels, which I'm sure most of you guys know. What the purpose is and what the intent of a chemical peel is, but it is just, it's kind of to make it, or I don't want to say damage the skin.
Right, it's a controlled injury.
It's a controlled injury to the skin, and so that's what you're doing because you want to be able to get the skin reactivated into cellular turnover and producing the kinds of things that it needs to do to make newer, healthy, younger looking skin cells.
Absolutely.
And so if you can remove those top layers, then that's what the chemical peel is going to do, and then that kicks the skin into action, so it will then start reproducing those younger, healthier, or younger looking, healthier cells. And so that's kind of from the angle that we're coming from with these protocols, is that we want to enhance the intent of the chemical peel to make sure when you're with your clients that you're doing the kinds of things that are going to enhance those results, and they are too.
Absolutely. So let's start off by basically understanding what are the different peel depth levels, like what are the strengths basically of chemical peels. The 4 categories are very superficial, medium, and deep. So that's the terminology we're going to use today. Very superficial would include the removal of the stratum corneum. We're talking about, very top layers of the skin, and then basically it's going to be the lightest form of chemical exfoliation. You're really not going to have a ton of downtime with this. The healing time is going to be very minimal, but these are great peels to introduce to your clients who have never had a chemical peel before, because they can kind of be scary, for some people who have just heard, the bad rumors basically, or seen that Sex and the City episode, you know, of Samantha having a complete, you know, resurfacing peel, which is not, you know, typical. So this is a great way to introduce, you know, someone to chemical peels, and then you can move them into superficial peels from there, and these are going to extend into the stratum granulosum. So these are really great next step for people that are, you know, new to chemical peels. These are going to be more active. They're going to achieve, you're going to start moving into more managing skin conditions here. Right. I feel like you're going to really start seeing a very visible notice of cellular turnover and kind of an increase in that in your just skin in general. But still, the expectation for these kinds of peels at superficial level is still going to be minimal flaking, minimal peeling, and also you know, minimal healing time. So you're really not looking at, you know, more than a couple days.
Yeah, little to no downtime. Yeah, I would say, and definitely, I think, and that's a good thing we'll talk about too, is just setting expectations and what you should expect to see as far as flaking and peeling may go. Then we get into the more medium depth peels, and so we're going to move into a little bit different type of expectations you should have, and also that your clients should have. But what these chemical peels are going to do is that they're going to extend into all of the layers of the epidermis, and so you're really going to be able to get down a little bit deeper into the epidermis and treat something a little bit better. And so you know, these kind of peels really have to be applied by an esthetician. They're strong enough when you move into a medium depth chemical peel that you should not be doing these unsupervised.
Absolutely
on your
not.
own. And I know your clients probably will try to buy things online and do these kinds of things, but good Lord, I hope that they don't. Right. And so it's a good thing for you as the professional to kind of know the different classifications of it and what you can do and should do within your own practice, your own business, and wherever you are, and kind of keep your clients away from those kinds of things too. You know, they're typically, you don't have to necessarily have a medical director with these chemical peels. Once we get into the deep peels, then you probably do, but they are strong enough that we don't recommend that anybody else apply them other than a licensed professional.
Exactly.
And the clients need to be prepped and kind of ready to receive these chemical peels. You don't want to start here.
Right.
Start with very superficial and superficial peels, and then move up to the stronger chemical peels.
Absolutely.
Even a medium depth peel, for somebody that's never had a chemical peel, it could go terribly wrong.
Absolutely.
Not terribly wrong, but you could not. It's just not a good idea.
You increase the amount of contraindications, and you increase the amount of potential harm that you can do, because like we said earlier, it's a controlled injury to the skin, and so you want to keep it under control. You don't want to let it get away from you, that kind of thing. And you can run into things like post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and cause some serious damage with that. That's something that's hard to reverse, especially in darker skin tones and stuff. They're very susceptible. So this is absolutely not where you want to start someone with chemical peels, nor do you want to jump too quickly to this level of peel.
Exactly. And there's some of these that are going to kind of be on the line between medium and deep depending on how many layers that you do. And so if you're adding different layers, then you can easily move a medium peel to a deeper level peel. So we're not going to go into total depth on that kind of thing. That is something that we like to cover in our training courses when we have people in a room, and we can go in depth about these kinds of things. But just so you'll know, they can fluctuate. But once you get into the deeper chemical peels, it's really going to extend through all the layers of the epidermis, and then down into the papillary and the reticular layers of the skin. So you're really going to be able to go a little bit deeper, and you can expect some deeper peeling, some more visible peeling in a lot of cases. And your clients also need to be prepared for that. Again, don't start with a deep peel on somebody. You need to graduate them up. We recommend that you really should only use these either by a physician or if you have a medical director with your license. And so they're that strong that just in case something goes wrong or there's something that needs to be treated, that you've got access to a physician or a medical director, somebody that can help with that pretty quickly. And these are going to have more downtime. They just are. The first ones we talked about, not so much, but I know even when I've done these on myself, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, these are substantially. What's the word I'm looking for? They like the desquamation of the skin is really substantial, and I think you get into deep-rooted skin conditions like cystic style acne and hyperpigmentation. You can start touching on melasma. Even though melasma is hormonal, you can still lighten some of that discoloration with chemical peels. But like you said, there is a fine line between being able to do one in just an aesthetic setting versus one in a more medical aesthetic setting. You definitely need to have a medical director for some of these deeper peels, and we encourage you guys to take caution with them and really set the expectation with your client that we're going to stair step you to deeper peels, but we're not going to jump to deeper peels, because these can cause some serious damage to the skin if we're not careful,
right.
And so you want to take your time with them for sure.
Definitely. And I think we'll move into a couple of different things now when we start talking about the post-peel protocols.
Yes.
Because there's two different parts to this. There's one right where you're in the treatment, so
yes.
they're still there in your presence and they haven't left your facility yet. And then there's what we recommend for the client to do at home. So
yes.
I'm going to highlight just quickly what you need to think about while they're still there in your presence. Just remember, we've already said this, but the key is to break down skin and to regenerate new skin cells. And to get the full benefit of that, you really don't want to over-apply too many products.
No.
You don't want to do anything that will interfere with the results, or that can clog pores or do different things. So the kinds of products that you want to use need to be very simple in what you do. And we always say less is more in this case. So a couple of products, one or two, that you just, and this will be, you'll have to use your professional judgment too as to which one that you pick or how you do this, but you definitely are going to have to use SPF. We cannot emphasize this enough, and why you need to do this. And we even saw an article recently that really talked about this point, in that, kind of say a little bit about what that article said.
So it was basically just like why we as licensed professionals are so adamant about sunscreen, and especially post any kind of treatment. Specifically with chemical peels, you increase the chances of skin cancer by 300% if you do not protect your skin post-treatment. So we cannot say this enough, that sunscreen after a treatment is absolutely essential. If your clients don't walk out with any other product, this is the one thing you have to make a requirement for them to get. If they are getting chemical peels, you as a licensed professional, for your liability purposes, should make them purchase a sunscreen or include it in your treatment price, so that they are walking out the door with some kind of protection, because it's absolutely essential post-chemical peel. 300 times more susceptible to skin cancer. I mean, that is a major chance.
And all it takes is applying sunscreen. It's really pretty simple, but I would even say, I don't care if it's cloudy, I don't care if it's cold, you should put sunscreen on after a chemical peel. Before they leave you, make sure that they do have on sunscreen. And then another product that you can use, and that's some sort of hydrator or moisturizer. And again, this is going to be up to your professional opinion as to what kind of things that you use. So if they have dehydrated skin or either just dry skin, you'll have to make the decision as to which one that best fits what they need at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is immediately following the treatment itself. What we're going to move into now is what they should do whenever they go home, basically. Like, what does their home regimen during the healing time after getting a chemical peel, what does that look like? And we've kind of broken it down into 4 different steps here, and this is something that I think can be pretty well applied across the board to whenever you're trying to figure out a regular home regimen with your client. But specifically for your post-peel treatment, the 4 steps are: 1, cleanse; 2, treat; 3, balance; and 4, protect. So cleansing, meaning washing away the debris. You're talking about sloughing off dead skin cells, with just the natural, exfoliation of the pads of your fingers. Number 2, treating, you're prepping the skin for cell turnover. You're start to address concerns. So whether that be acneic skin types or hyperpigmentation, this is where those more like managing skin conditions is the first step to that. Right. Number 3, balance. So this is where you want to help repair that skin barrier. We talk a lot about keeping that moisture barrier, that acid mantle in balance, and this is where those particular products are going to come into play. And number 4, protect, and that's pretty self-explanatory. You need to wear SPF every single day post peel during that healing time, and you should be wearing it every day. But let's be real here, not everyone does that. But you can stress to them that specifically during this healing time is when they have to be wearing sunscreen because they have to protect their skin. So with that being said, there's a little bit. I think we should kind of move into what chemical peels, what Skin Therapeutic peels we classify in which very superficial, deep, and medium depth. Like what peels do we classify in those?
Okay, great question, and so let's answer that. What we did was to us, I think the very superficial and the superficial are so similar in how they react on the skin. We've kind of grouped those together. So these can kind of go either way. But within our line, these are the chemical peels that we are going to classify under either very superficial or superficial. So we're talking about the 30% glycolic and 45% glycolic mandelic, 30% and 45% lactic, our 10% salicylic. We also have some blends, so there's a glyco blend and a lacti blend that combine either glycolic acid and salicylic or lactic acid and salicylic. And those are going to fall into those kind of categories where you can kind of put those all together, and your expectations of what you'll see from these chemical peels are going to be pretty similar. So the home healing time with this is probably going to be 3 to 5 days.
Yeah.
And you might see some flaking, maybe. You probably won't see any peeling. No. You may not see anything at all with these as far as those go. And then when we get into the 4 steps with, I think, how your clients need to be using products at home after this is that we recommend for the cleanse, it's a gentle cleansing gel. And so this cleanser is botanical rich. There's no surfactants in it. There's not going to be anything that's going to irritate the skin, and that's what you don't want to do, is do anything to irritate the skin after treatment. And so this is kind of a very good gentle cleanser that they can use. Then you're going to move into step 2, which is the treat. You can use our hydrocell turnover booster, and this is basically plant-based 100% pure squalene. It's non-comedogenic. There is nothing in this that's going to either clog the pores or hurt the skin in any way, but can add a tremendous amount of moisture with very little bit of the product. And it's also been shown in, they've actually done studies on it, it actually increases cell turnover by up to 34%. And so it actually is going to enhance the skin's ability to produce those new skin cells. So this is why we really like this one too.
Absolutely.
And then for the next one, for balance, and this is where you can add a little bit more moisture or help the skin to start repairing. And you can either use the Hydrolyte lotion, which is a very light lotion that we have that's going to absorb quickly, but there's nothing in it really that's going to irritate, and it's not very thick, and so it does well with those. Or our hyaluronic product, which is our HAB5, which is going to help the skin retain moisture, so it actually will help pull moisture from the skin and into fine lines and wrinkles and start helping there. But it also has pro vitamin B as well, which can also help enhance the skin's ability to repair itself and then become healthy.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, follow up with sunscreen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, always follow sunscreen.
Absolutely. So we're going to move into what we classify as our medium depth peels, and that's going to include the lactic and glycolic 55%, the glycolic and lacti bright peels, the light modified Jesner, the light Jesner's bright, the salicylic 20%, and the light Jesner and the light modified Jesner. So those particular peels are going to be about 5 to 7 days downtime or healing time. So you're looking at mild flaking, some mild peeling, mild sloughing of the skin, and the products that we're really going to focus on, of course, is the gentle cleansing gel, Sorry about that, guys. So for the medium depth peels, you're going to look at for cleanse, gentle cleansing gel. For treat, the hydrocell turnover booster again. The balancing out the skin with either Hydrolyte HIB5, or you can one of my favorite products personally is the VitaFuse lotion. So the reason why we've included that one as an option for the step for balance and kind of repairing that and that moisture barrier is when we get into those deeper the medium depth peels, you start going further into the skin, and so your skin does need a little bit more nutrients. It's not as you're not just sloughing off dead skin cells and doing, you're starting to go further into the skin, so you need a little bit more to repair the skin and really reestablish that barrier. So, and then of course, number 4, SPF. So, and the last category of chemical peels are our deep peels. So this would be the Ultra Jesner, the glycolic and lactic 70%, salicylic 30%, the Jesner and the modified Jesner. So these are going to, again, a deeper level of exfoliation, a deeper level of controlled injury to the skin. So you really want to focus in on nourishment here. And so gentle cleansing gel for the cleanser. You're going to treat it with hydrocell turnover booster, and then for the balance step of the healing regimen would be either HAB5 or the VitaFuse lotion. So I don't think Hydrolyte would be a good option for these peels because I just don't think it has enough to it. So you need something a little heavier because these, again, deeper desquamation of the skin cells and deeper injury, controlled injury to the skin. So you definitely want to balance that moisture barrier, that acid mantle back out and really nourish the skin that's there. And then of course, and I cannot stress this enough, Skin Therapeutic SPF 30. Yes. That would be the, it's essential to really protect the skin. This is a crucial step in making sure that you prevent damage as well. And especially with these medium depth and deeper peels, you want to protect the skin as much as you can and prevent more harm being done to the skin than needed.
I think that's a good point too, that even with chemical peels is that what we're trying to do is promote healthy skin. That is the goal. It's not just to get the skin ripped off of the face,
Exactly.
It's really about, well, let's remove the things that are impeding healthier skin cells' ability to reproduce.
Absolutely.
And achieve those things that we want. So let's talk about now, what can your clients expect? And
expectations.
Then expectations that you have actually a lot of control over, setting those expectations and helping your clients understand both what they should do and what they should not do, especially over the next 7 days. It's really critical. That first week after a chemical peel, that's probably the most critical time for what they do or don't do at home. Absolutely. And so that's why we really want to go into detail about these kind of different things that we're recommending, so that when they do go home, then they're doing the right things and not undoing what you just did.
Exactly.
But they're actually enhancing it. So by being able to do that, you really want to set that expectation for your client, expectation before that they leave, that most chemical peels are going to take 5 to 7 days to heal. If you get into the deeper ones, then it could be anywhere from 7 to 12. I know when I've had some of the deeper ones, it was 18 days.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, it just depends on the skin. But you need them to also understand, what kinds of things to expect from their skin when they see it, so they don't freak out or they don't think that something is wrong. And some of those things are, you're going to see dry patches, you're going to see red spots. Those are very, very normal, and it could just be in 1 or 2 spots. You may not see the entire face light up or be red, or some spots could be more red than others, and that's very, very normal for those kinds of things to happen. Skin flaking, skin peeling, of course, that's going to happen, but these are going to resolve themselves. So a lot of times what we see is that we'll have people call 1 or 2 or 3 days after the chemical peel, really concerned because they're seeing some of these things, but that's completely normal.
Absolutely.
For those kinds of things to happen, especially with the deeper chemical peels.
So definitely want to talk about not picking the skin. It's going to itch, you guys. It's going to happen. Whenever you have dry, dead skin coming off of your face or off of your body, it is going to itch. If you've ever had a sunburn, ever experienced any kind of sunburn, then you know it definitely goes through a period of itchiness. Do not scratch, do not pick, do not pull, do not peel the skin back, because you're going to expose all that baby skin, all the new baby cells underneath, the new healthy cells, and they're not ready yet to be exposed to UV rays without any kind of protectant or anything like that, and you could seriously cause some damage with hyperpigmentation or scarring even if you pick and itch or scratch at this new skin. So you definitely want to let it happen naturally. You definitely want the skin to regenerate properly, and not expose it too soon to the elements, of course. So something that we introduced a couple, I guess this was back in 2018, was introducing or suggesting that you guys do a what we call a hydration facial about 7 to 10 days post chemical peel. So this would be an additional appointment for your client, but the reason why we stress this as being something that we think is important is because is a couple different reasons. We recommend it because you can get the client back in and you can see their skin. You can see how they've been treating their skin, if they've been following your suggestions for their regimen and their behaviors, not scratching, not pulling at the skin, that kind of thing. So an overall assessment of how well they're doing, how well the chemical peel did on their skin, if there were any concerns there, if we need to alter their their regular regimen. This would be a good time to kind of reassess that, where you guys are between treatments, and then their experience and how they if they liked the treatment. So maybe some people are like, okay, I'm just not ready for the full commitment of chemical peels just yet, and so you can assess that at that time. Or if they're like, let's do this, then you can also have that conversation with them and set up a full treatment plan and kind of what your plan as the licensed professional is for their skin type and their conditions that they're dealing with. And so this one is just a great way to build trust with your clientele and build a repertoire that you really care about them and their longevity of their skin health and the wellness that comes with good skin regimen and stuff. So basically the post-peel home regimen, immediately following a chemical peel, what we suggest is that they don't cleanse their face until the next day. So we say 24 hours. If that's relative, if I get a chemical peel today and I wash my face tomorrow morning, that's okay. But we really want to wait the full a day later to do anything to the skin after getting a chemical peel, because it lets this. You just did a controlled injury. You just did a treatment, so you need to let the skin settle in a little bit and really not do anything to agitate it, and even just the manual rubbing of the pads against the surface level of the skin can agitate and irritate in some skin types. So we just want to make sure that we're not doing that. We're going to let the treatment fully settle in and set on the skin, and then you can start initiating the healing time regimen the next day. And so of course, like we said earlier, you really only want to use a gentle cleanser of some sort. We recommend the gentle cleansing gel for that healing time. You definitely don't want to initiate the regular home regimen during the healing time. You really need to give the skin time to repair itself and to slough off the skin cells that it's going to slough off, and really get back to the basics: cleanse, treat, balance, and protect the skin during that time period. So after so what are some products that we have that we suggest for post peel treatment, basically?
Well, and I think we're talking after the 7 days, right? And so after you've seen them again and you've been able to see how their skin does and gently exfoliate any kind of flaking or anything like that. And that's another reason why we love that, is because you can actually do that exfoliation, and maybe it'll keep them from picking if they know they're coming in 7 days later. And
true.
You can kind of you can do that for them in a very caring way and not damage the skin. And so once we get past that 7 to 10 day period after the chemical peel, then you can kind of start reintroducing or introducing some products that may be skin condition specific that can also help enhance whatever skin condition that the person has or that they need to work on. So we're still going to recommend the gentle cleansing gel for the cleansing. I think, for a couple of weeks, I wouldn't use anything harsh to cleanse the face. And so I think that's going to be a good product. Another one that's good to introduce is vitamin C.
Absolutely.
We absolutely love vitamin C and the results that you get, especially post-chemical peel.
Yeah, it brings oxygen to the skin. It promotes healing. It makes your sunscreen work better and helps with free radical damage. I mean, there's so many things that we can say about vitamin C as being a crucial ingredient and crucial step in the skin regimen. And it's a natural brightener. So if you have anyone dealing with hyperpigmentation of any kind, which I feel like that's majority of everyone, this is a great, easy serum to just kind of put into the regimen and start really working on that skin condition.
Yeah, I like Brightenol too for hyperpigmentation, and it's a non-hydroquinone version, but it does have 3 brighteners in it.
Yeah.
And it works really, really well. It's not really going to irritate the skin in any way. It does have retinol in it. And so it could enhance peeling too and flaking. I know that's happened when I've used it because I have a ton of hyperpigmentation. But it's a great product that can, now that some of the dead skin has been removed and there's a clear pathway into some of those deeper parts of the dermis and epidermis, a product like Brightenol can get in deeper where those dark spots are and really start to change those.
Absolutely. And another one at this stage, whenever we're still treating the skin after cleansing, the hydrocell turnover booster.
Yeah.
So we kind of focused in mainly on this one being just a hydrator, but really it helps increase cellular turnover by like 33 or 35%. It's kind of substantial. So it is an oil, but it's a great oil for those that are dealing with like dehydrated or dry skin, acneic skin types, even oily skin types could use this because it will help create or minimize that transepidermal water loss and kind of even out your sebum production while stimulating cellular turnover. So it's definitely one that I don't want to ever, I recommend this one to a lot of people.
All the time. And it's great to add, especially if you are using a Brightenol or something with retinol, because it is going to dry the skin out. If you can add a little bit of moisture back with that, then you can actually, again, we're going back to healthy skin.
Absolutely.
And what that looks like. One of the balancing products that we both like is either the VitaFuse serum or VitaFuse lotion.
Yes, I love the VitaFuse lotion. It's so good.
They're so good because of the nutrients and vitamins that are packed within this very simple formula, but so effective.
Absolutely.
And when you're in this stage, when the skin is in this stage and you're wanting to rebuild and encourage the kinds of things within the skin to do that, then when you're adding these kind of vitamins and these kind of minerals and things within there, man, it's really going to enhance the skin's ability to heal, help collagen production, the skin do the things that it needs to be doing anyway to repair itself.
So one that's a little bit lighter than that would be the Hydrolite Oil-Free Moisturizer. This one is so great for your younger clients that are dealing with acneic skin type specifically because it's non-comedogenic and it's going to really nourish the skin without feeling too heavy. It's going to be fast absorbing and I definitely think it's a really great just daily moisturizer.
Absolutely.
So so this one is going to be, I think it actually has, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it actually has squalene in it.
It does.
So good. So that is great. You can enhance the hydration by adding a little more of the hydrocell turnover booster to it, or you can just have it in the formula already. So it's just a great all-over moisturizer. That'd be easy peasy, great for your guys, great for your teenagers who don't want a ton of steps in their regimen. And then the last and final step, and we're going to drive this home, is protect that skin with SPF. And so my personal favorite is our water resistance SPF 30. It's broadband protection against UVA and UVB rays. And my personal opinion of this is, and the reason why I prefer it over any other facial sunscreen or sunscreen in general, is that it doesn't smell like sunscreen, and it doesn't dry in like an oily like sheet, like finish. It doesn't feel heavy in the skin. So. Yeah,
it absorbs quickly, and it does have micronized. I want to say it's not zinc. Is it the titanium dioxide?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and so it absorbs quickly, but you're not going to have that white film on your face.
Yes, thank goodness.
But the aroma.
Yeah, I really do like the smell of it.
It smells so good. It does not smell like the beach.
Or coconuts.
Coconuts or anything like that. So it's good for your face because it's so close to your nose.
So you just get that woof of goodness.
It smells really good.
That's so funny. Well, we appreciate you guys sticking out with us through this live. I know it's a lot of information at once, but really we're just going to recap just a second. When it comes to post-peel protocol and what we suggest for your client as far as the skincare products and what they should be doing after they leave the treatment room, they should be cleansing, they should be treating the skin, balancing it, and protecting it. And if you guys want suggestions on client-specific, recommendations, we can definitely do that. You can give us a call or you can email us here at the office, and I'll be more than happy to kind of set that up with you and talk you through it and make suggestions there. And then this month specifically, we have one of our deep peels on sale. It's our modified Jesner peel. Modified meaning that instead of the traditional Jesner's formula of resorcinol, lactic, and salicylic, we've replaced resorcinol with glycolic. Right. So it's still a fantastic peel. I really like this one for acid rotation and for getting glycolic in my skin. I mean, it just it gets down in there. So with that real small molecule, it's really great. And then we put the thing we recommend in this live on sale too. It's the Hydration Facial Kit, and that includes the Crystal Exfoliating Scrub, the Pro Size of the Hydrocell Turnover Booster, the squalene, and then a Pro Size of the VitaFuse Lotion, which is my fave. I go through that stuff like crazy.
It's so good, but it's so good for that facial. It's very simple, but it is all of these products that we know are not going to irritate, but are going to help the skin rebuild and produce those younger skin cells, the healthier skin cells. So 15% off the whole bundle.
Absolutely. And then of course we're doing free shipping on orders of 200 or more. My most favorite announcement though is that we have another training set for May 31st, 2020. Yep. It's going to be in Kirkland, Washington. So we had one in January in Kirkland with Dakota Tyrene Aesthetics, and it just went so well.
So much fun.
We have decided to go back, and so we are partnering again with Miss Dakota, and we're very, very excited to be offering a training up there. And you should really keep a lookout for the trainings up there. I think she's really taken it on, and I think we have something good there. But that particular one will be taught by me and Miss Dakota, and it's May 31st, and the registration's already up on the website. So if you go to our website and you hit the specials page, it'll be right there in the list of specials going on right now. The link is also in our bio and Instagram, if you have any questions or anything like that, let me know. The great thing about it though is you can put half down to hold your spot. Sorry about that, guys. You can do half down to hold your spot, and then pay the rest of the day of the course. So it's a great way to get your seats solidified, and then pay the balance whenever you come to the training.
Right. Well, and even as much as we try to give information on these kinds of videos, there's so much go into chemical peels and what to do in different scenarios based on skin conditions and things like that. And so this is what we love about the training, is it really gives us a chance to get in depth and answer a lot of those questions, especially specific questions that there's just no way we can cover here. But I think it would be invaluable to you and your business and to your clients to be able to come to something like that and have all the tools that you need to really excel in that area.
100%. And it's a certification, you guys. So it's another thing that you can put on your wall that will give you credibility and build trust for your clientele or potential clientele. And you're with that training, you're going to leave with product. We give away free products there, and it's included with every registration. And you'll be able to literally take what you get at the training and go right to doing chemical peels same day or next day. Yeah. So it's great classroom training, and it's also hands-on training. So we talk about really in-depth stuff when it comes to chemical peels and the chemistry behind it, and some of the biology and physiology behind skin and that kind of thing. And then we do the rest of the day, like half of the training is hands-on specific. So we have a lot of time where we really hone in your technique so that you can be as effective with these chemical peels and really help your clients manage some serious skin conditions. And be honest with you, just from a personal standpoint, they changed my life. So really could impact some people with this kind of treatment.
Definitely.
So. Well, thank you guys so much for sticking out with us. We went a little long, but I think it was really good information.
I do think it was great information, but it's always good to see you guys.
Yes, and thank you all so much for tuning in. If you didn't get to tune in live, it will be available on our Facebook page. So go to facebook.com, just type in Skin Therapeutic in the search engine or search bar within Facebook, and it will pop up right there under videos. So be looking for that if you didn't get to tune in live. But thanks, you guys. Y'all have a great day.
Have a great day.